Chancellor Cohen, over your nearly 10 years as Chancellor, how would you assess your experience?
Well, Wes, I would say that first I was very fortunate to find such a great match for me as Purdue Calumet. My experience has been one of cooperation, of I think a convergence of ideas about where the campus could go, and really I would say working with high quality people. It's been great.
What have been your primary objectives as Chancellor, and how successful do you feel you have been in addressing them?
My primary objective was strategic, which was to take Purdue Calumet from where I thought it was, which was a university known for convenience, for being local, and for being accessible, and moving it to a high-quality, full-service regional university. And I think that wasn't only my objective, but the objective of the campus as well.
During your administration, Chancellor, Purdue Calumet developed student housing, introduced an innovative experiential learning program, increased admission requirements, attracted record enrollment, including more than 600 international students, and broadened university involvement in ways that have advanced Northwest Indiana. How would you explain the significance of these advancements?
Well, I would say that they're all integrated. All of them are parts of this idea that we were going to become more of a full-service regional university. So in order to do that, we needed some residential students. We needed students who were excellent students who wanted to be here. We needed faculty who were engaged in their research and were willing to bring students into their research. And we needed a curriculum that would help our students not only learn their subject matter while they're here, but prepare them for the work that they would be doing and the lives they would be living once they graduated.
Throughout your time as Chancellor, you have committed to leading Purdue Calumet to the next level. Explain your idea of the next level for Purdue Calumet, and has Purdue Calumet reached that level?
Well, I think the metaphor of the next level is kind of a video game metaphor. And it's like you work as hard as you can and you get to a certain point, and then you start all over and work a little harder to get to the next point. And I think that's a partly useful metaphor because we have been trying to make progress. But I would say that the stages are probably less pronounced than they would be in a video game. It's more of a continuum, and I would say that along the continuum of developing quality, we've made a lot of progress.
Effective strategic planning has been a cornerstone of your administration. What Purdue Calumet strategic achievement over the past 10 years do you consider most important, and why?
Well, I don't think I could name one, but let me name a couple. I would say that experiential learning was certainly critical because as a requirement for our bachelor's level students in all majors, we sent a message that we were concerned with not only our students as they were here at the university, but with their transition out of the university into their work and their lives. And it was also a message to the community that we wanted our students to be engaged with the community, and we wanted the community to assess their quality as well as having their faculty assess their quality. So I'd say that was one. I think another critical thing that we did was create the centers and institutes around applied research that had a regional and sometimes a larger impact than regional, but one that brought together the talents of our faculty, opportunities for our students, and the needs of our community. So that was, I thought, very important. And third, I would say the very visible things that we did to improve the recognition of student quality. And among those I would count the Chancellor Scholars, who are valedictorians and salutatorians. I would count the honors program, which we created. to bring in other really excellent students, and of course bringing in very talented international students to study here. And I think all of those things send a message to students who come to Purdue Calumet that students who have choices want to be here, and they aren't here, any of them, just because they have to settle for less than a first quality education.
Chancellor Cohen, on past occasions you have expressed that regional universities such as Purdue Calumet are the best positioned agents to respond successfully to a national objective of increasing the number of college graduates. Explain what you mean.
Well, if you take the universities that are the traditional residential universities that are already graduating 80, 85, 90% of the students who come to them. If we're going to significantly increase the number of people in the United States who have degrees, boosting their degree production by a percentage point or two isn't going to get you to those numbers. It's places like Purdue Calumet and the community colleges that have the opportunity to significantly increase our degree productivity against the population of students that we currently have, or that we might reasonably expect to grow to in difficult economic times. So we're really the place that, by the things we do internally, can increase the number of graduates that we produce year in and year out. And community colleges, of course, but they have probably a longer way to go to really increase their degree productivity, at least in Indiana.
Throughout your administration, you've placed a high priority on student success. That is, students earning their degree. What do you believe to be the key to student success?
I would say preparation and persistence. If students come in who are not well prepared, they're going to have a very difficult time getting themselves up to the standard that it's going to take to graduate. Students who are well prepared but don't really devote themselves to their education, we will lose them the first time they have a significant bump in their lives. So the combination of those things, preparation and persistence, is really what it's going to take for students to graduate, achieve the degree, and be successful.
What do you believe to be the primary assets of Purdue Calumet?
Certainly the faculty, the talent of the faculty is a primary asset. The very highly qualified staff that supports the faculty is a huge asset. I would say having a senior leadership team that works as a team, that really supports one another, and that sees the university for its larger purposes is critically important, and also being sound financially. So we have the resources that we need to do the things that are our highest priorities. I'd name those things.
How do you feel about the future of Purdue Calumet?
I think it's only glowing. We're in an area that's kind of coming back as a region, both economically and socially. The university is just rock solid in terms of the quality of the people who are working here and the goals that they have. I think we are well aligned with national goals. People seem to want to work together to improve the university. So I have nothing but optimism about Purdue Calumet.
What has been the most rewarding and also the most challenging aspect of being the chancellor at Purdue Calumet?
I think the most rewarding thing, of course, is commencement, where you see, all these wonderful students who've achieved the degree, walking across that stage, and you know that their lives are changed dramatically for having put in that work and that time, and now having been recognized for it with a university degree. The challenging part, I think, is just to keep everything going. You know, there's so many moving parts to a university. We're a huge operation with lots of things that are going on. So my job is to kind of look over the whole landscape of it and then to keep the pressure on where we need to keep moving things forward.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to be a chancellor at a regional university such as Purdue Calumet?
I would say it's an incredibly satisfying job. It's a job of many, many parts, and you need to be good at all of them. You need to know the finances. You need to know the academic side. You need to have great time management and communication skills, and you need to be willing to work on something for 10 minutes and then leave it and work on something else.
Chancellor Cohen, in closing, what are your plans for the future?
Well, my plan is to take some time off to prepare myself to teach philosophy, preferably Introduction to Philosophy and Introduction to Ethics, on a part-time basis, and then to do some other work in relation to higher education.
Thank you very much, Chancellor Cohen.
Thank you, Wes.